Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
And this is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is The Mummy from 2017, not to get confused with the Brendan Fraser from like '01, '02. This is the reboot, or what they attempted to have as a reboot.
The not good
So,
one, I guess you can say.
yeah, we'll get into that. We will get into that. Want to kick us off?
Yeah. And spoiler warning. Then in terms of like if you haven't finished the movie or something, I don't know. We all know how this happens. But here's a short description or summary of the movie. Nick Morton, who is Tom Cruise's character, is a treasure hunter who accidentally unleashes an ancient evil princess named Amenet from her hidden tomb in Iraq. Amenet wants to use Nick as a vessel for the god of death, Set, and unleash chaos upon the world. Nick teams up with Jenny Halsey, an archaeologist, and Dr. Henry Jekyll. That's another character. A mysterious
Russell
scientist to
Crowe.
stop Amenet and her army of mummies. Along the way, Nick discovers that he has a connection to Amenet and must choose between his own survival and the fate of humanity. Yeah, so that's a short summary of the movie,
So
and
I was
yeah,
confused because I definitely thought, at least confused about the movie, not confused about the description. Um, I thought he was in the military, but he's
I think
also
he
a
was.
treasure
Yeah,
hunter.
like that's the whole beginning of the movie is that they're like military people and like they're
Yeah,
in Iraq.
but then they never touch on that again.
But then he also like I guess the whole point is that he likes to loot things when he's in the
Yeah,
military.
like he should be
Um,
kicked out.
yeah,
Like, what are
that
you
that's
doing?
something that I'm assuming that most military should not be doing.
No, you get court-martialed and all kinds of shit. Like, bro, what are you doing?
But yeah, okay. So and then also in terms of like, did you know that this is basically like Universal's attempt at like a monsters universe, like using their monsters IP and stuff to make
Oh,
like a Marvel
no.
style kind of universe. That's why it starts off with like the dark universe, like that's what they called
Oh
it.
my God. Okay, I'm happy I did not know that until now, because that would have made me really hate this damn movie. Because I
Yeah,
saw
it
that whole like
does.
dark universe and they had the globe spinning and it's dark and scary, but I kind of blew past that and I was just like, all right, let's get to the mummies. So knowing that, yeah, I'm glad that didn't pan out for them.
Yeah, it almost makes it confusing because it's like there's a lot of, again, it's the issue that Marvel has. It's like at the moment you make it a universe, it's like you spend a lot of time setting things up
Hmm.
and you're not
And connecting
making the
too.
movie.
Yeah. Like just give us something good and then just have some sort of give me an end credit that connects to the next. Like I don't need a full movie that sets up the next 4 or 5 movies because that just takes away from, like you said, yeah, it takes away from the film.
Yeah, like do the film and then figure out how your ending
Hmm.
somehow trickles into the
The
start
next.
of the next film or whatever. Just
Yeah.
somehow randomly, like I don't know, they find out that whatever Russell Crowe's character is actually named Dr. Jekyll and stuff, and like weird things like that.
He was such a
Um,
shitty character.
but okay, but then I actually enjoyed Russell Crowe's character more so than the rest of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's still
Yeah.
like, as a whole, he's a shitty character. As a whole, the movie was just, ugh. But I think I don't know where. I think I might have saw it in passing, but I've seen a clip of Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll. Like when I was watching it again, I was like, I've seen this moment of this film, but I don't remember when. So that was kind of okay. Wow, they did halfway decent because I remembered this portion of the film, but that was about it.
but
It
then
kind of
you
reminded me
also
of
believe that
Transformers.
that was his final form because he did kind of put one of like a little like didn't he put a little bit of that thing that's supposed to hold him back?
Hmm.
So like was that actually like how Mr. Hyde comes out, or like was it just like almost like a half baked because he was able to kind of suppress it a little bit?
That's probably half baked.
Yeah, that was like if you think about it, like I was thinking about like all right, if that was actually supposed to be Mr. Hyde, like I guess that's more of a realistic version of it, but
Yeah,
it doesn't kind of like show that
live
that's
up.
Mr. Hyde and everything,
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't live up to what you expect. It was kind of just like a teaser.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we can start off with this. What did you like about the movie? Like, what was something good?
I enjoyed the CGI. Like I thought
Yeah,
the CGI was good. Like with Aminet's eyes when they did the Tom Cruise and Aminet when they had the
Tom Cruise.
double
Yeah,
irises, and then I enjoyed the look of the mummies also. Still doesn't it still doesn't put me in that same mindset as like the original series of the Mummy. Like I love the way that even though that CGI looking back now is horrible, I really like the way those mummies looked. So this one
yeah,
didn't put me in that same kind of frame of mind, but for what we got, like, I enjoyed it.
yeah. Actually, come to think about it, it yes, the CGI does not stand out as like, oh, this is like horrible or like
Hmm.
this is a movie from 2017, so it should not look somewhat horrible anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, the CGI was good in the way that they kind of like did all the effects for the Aminet character and stuff.
Hmm.
And even like that time where like they were like blowing all the sand and like that, like it
Yeah.
almost mimics the water scene from the first Mummy. Um,
Yeah, I didn't think
that
about
was
that.
actually pretty
Yeah.
good. I was like, wow, that's surprising and stuff. And like the face of Aminet's coming out from the sand, same
Yeah.
thing as like the Mummy. So it's like sort of like
Some
retelling, like a
callbacks.
like you said
Hmm.
from the first movie. But I guess is it CGI because like the one note I wrote is that scene where they are crashing in the
Yeah.
plane, like where
Hmm.
there's like
After
this
all the birds
like
fly
the
through.
zero G and everything. And that was actually pretty good. I was like, well, that looks impressive and everything, and it was like it looked like it fit in the movie. I don't know if it's CGI. I'm assuming it's CGI.
It's Tom Cruise,
But
so maybe not. He might have
I
actually
Tom
stayed in the
Cruise is
plane
like,
as it fell.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah, so
understand that,
I
but
don't know, but it looked good. I was like, that's
yeah.
pretty good and everything, and out of everything that came about with the movie, that's sort of like I guess the CGI and sort of that one scene for myself that kind of stood out.
Did it did it feel like a Mission Impossible film to you?
Yeah,
Because it felt like a Mission Impossible movie as I was watching it.
and it's funny because like we've me and Patty have watched like two Mission Impossibles recently, and
Okay.
yeah, it like I think it's almost impossible to not see Tom Cruise as not a Mission Impossible style movie because he's done so many of them too.
Yeah.
That I wonder if like his style is now become Mission Impossible. Like they're like one and
One and the
like they're vice
same.
versa and everything, one and the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, and I think it's just because of like just seeing Tom Cruise. Like there, it's kind of hard to not see Tom Cruise doing a Mission Impossible style movie, and this does kind of keep
It
it the same
fits
way.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the amount of running, like that's the most fit man in the world. I've not seen a movie where he doesn't run.
yeah. It was if you want to see how good Tom Cruise looks like in this movie, like he looks fantastic for however
Yes.
old he is.
Yes. He had to be at least like 50 at that point, right?
Yeah, I
2017?
think so. He's pretty old now, but in terms
Yeah.
of like respectively, but yeah, like I just wonder. I think the one thing that kind of comes to mind is that I think it's the casting. I think none of these actors and actresses fit in any of the roles
Ooh.
for me, and because
Yeah.
I think it just takes away from the movie
Hmm.
when you see Tom Cruise, you see the guy from New Girl,
Oh,
even
Jack
though like that
Johnson.
guy was probably like, oh yeah, like he has a final, he's like universe style movie coming out,
Hmm.
and and he's coming from New Girl, but I think all even the woman the Jenny lady
Yeah.
does not fit and everything. I guess the
The lady
only
that played
person that
Aminet or the blonde lady?
the blonde lady.
Okay.
The lady that played Aminet, I think,
I
fit
think
in
she was
terms of like,
great. Yeah.
yeah. So I think everyone else around them were not casted correctly.
I think the name, like you were saying, I think the names are too big. Like if you think back to the original ones, or I don't even know. They might be a reboot also, but the early 2000s version, Brendan Fraser was like a big name, but he wasn't Tom Cruise big. He was B list at best,
Hmm.
and but he was recognizable enough that people would be like, "Oh, I like this guy. He's been in such and such movies." And then his wife, and I don't know if he had a kid at that point, but they were recognizable, or at least he was recognizable enough for people to be like, "Oh, I'll check this out. Like it's mummies, that's cool, and it's a actor I somewhat know." For this version, it's like, hey, let's spend all the money on freaking Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise, and let's throw them into this mummy film, and not really focus on the mummies, but more so focus on Tom Cruise hashing out a mission, even though he should be court-martialed.
Who ends up becoming the mummy, right? I guess that's the spoiler. I think he's the mummy.
He becomes a mummy, yeah.
Yeah,
He
and the whole
stabs himself
Amunet
or
thing
whatever.
is not the mummy, like in terms of
No.
like who would carry on into the universe of monsters.
It would be
It's
him.
Tom Cruise that moves
Hmm.
on as like the mummy, right?
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
would
and I
ruin
think
those
that's like
movies.
that was their attempt of like, all right, like because like Marvel kind of like had no money when they started off with
Hmm.
Iron Man. So who did they get?
Robert
A Robert Downey
Downey,
Jr. that's coming out of like almost like
the
being
Troubles.
drugged up and everything, and like
Yeah.
and he's picked up his life, but he's probably cheap at that moment. And
Hmm.
now he's like one of the most highly regarded and like and most financially kind of
Yeah.
demanding actor, where they almost kind of started off with a bang where like, oh, let's just get someone that is going to cost a lot of money and stuff and brings in so
Yeah.
much star power. It's like, I don't know, just get a nobody and see what happens or
Yeah.
something, or like a B-list actor that you just, who cares, like just let's just see if this works.
Yeah. You just need a recognizable face. Even with like, I'll say Marvel slash Sony did well with Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds is, at least at the time, was like recognizable enough.
Hmm.
And now it's like there's no way they would have tried to pick up Ryan Reynolds. They couldn't afford him if they tried to like redo Deadpool now. But the fact
Yeah.
that they got him at like a great point where he was about to become a superstar, and then Deadpool kind of made him even more of a superstar. It was a great point in his career.
But it's kind of what elevated him to
Hmm.
that. Yeah, I get what you mean, where it's like it's almost trying to like find someone that's already highly elevated
Yeah.
and putting them in a role that like, oh, we're trying to like build this thing into like this 30-year commitment probably. Like they probably thought they're probably sitting around their table like, this is gonna be 30 years, we're gonna make a whole bunch of money. Like, no.
We're gonna do a whole bunch of movies. We're doing a whole universe. Like we're gonna be great.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think that's the worst part of it. And you didn't know it going in, but
Yeah.
I think knowing that they wanted to try to set up things with this movie is what makes it bad. Is
Yeah.
what makes it, because there's so much thing that you kind of referenced it a little bit. You almost forget about the Aminette character, where like
Hmm.
she's like in half the movie, and you expect like they're gonna be going at it like all the time and like a build up of her powers and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you
And
get
they
the
did that in
build
like
up and then it's
five
like nothing.
minutes. Yeah, it was like, boom, she got the powers, and then Tom Cruise somehow like swoops in, and then he steals the powers. It's like, bro,
Right?
what?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. What like in terms of your opinion, like is that the
Hmm.
biggest like gripe for the movie, or what else?
Uh, no, I truly, and you may feel differently, but I truly disliked the interaction he had with his friend once his friend became a zombie mummy zombie mummy
I
whatever
have
the
no
fuck he
clue what
was.
the hell. Like it was
Yeah,
dead. Like he's dead, and then
he was
like
dead.
trying to be. What I kind of like. It was funny because like when he was dead, and now he
Hmm.
like shows up and he's telling Tom Cruise like, hey, you gotta follow me because you gotta like
Yeah,
you got to do this. It almost became like the story was not being told the by what you're seeing on screen. They needed that character to say what the story is supposed to be saying.
yes,
Like he's like the narrator. Like, all right, they're like,
yes.
all right, now you got to say what the hell we're trying to convey because like no one's gonna figure it out.
Because you need a comic relief too. Like, okay, what's going on? Oh, he just told me what's going on. I get it. I'm back. I'm locked in again. It
And if
didn't
you're
work.
looking for comic relief, it wasn't it. Like he's a decent character, but
Yeah.
like his comic relief was better in New Girl than this thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I gotta say, the beginning of the film reminded me of the hot chick. They
No.
pretty much they almost did the exact same thing as the hot chick. I was just waiting for Adam Sandler to come out and say, "Hey, you can hide your weed in it." That's the only
There
thing they
you
didn't put into that.
go.
Like I'm watching it, I'm like, this is cool. Like it looks really good, but why are they? Why does this look like the hot chick? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know where this kind of fall. It definitely falls flat,
yeah.
and it became basically what stopped the whole universe that they were trying to create. Because I don't know if I told you this before, but you ever seen The Invisible Man with Kate Moss?
I have. I heard it was. Oh, was that the Kate Moss one that was good? No, it wasn't the Kate. I heard one of them was good. I think the more recent one
Or
was
like
good.
the most recent Invisible Man? I think it's Kate Moss,
Yeah.
right? The one that's in like Mad Men. Um, but that one was supposed to be part of this universe too.
Oh,
But
good.
then I think the Mummy came out first,
Yeah.
and then it blew up the whole thing. And then they were like, "Okay, well now make the movie." Or the director of the Invisible Man was like, "I just want to do it the way I want to,"
Okay.
and he was able to, and it kind of made it better. And I
Yeah, I
think
heard it
if you
was
still
good.
watch the Invisible Man now, you still
Hmm.
see like the intro, like the Dark Universe intro, but it doesn't pertain to anything.
That's stupid.
And that's a
That's
much better
stupid.
movie, where it's like
Yeah, I heard
like
that.
when you have a director that like, I don't need to connect the dots to anything, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
need unless you want me to at the end of the
At
credits.
the very end, like I'll give you a halfway through the credit in the credit scene. Like I'll
Yeah,
give
no,
you something.
I guess like make it like if Tom Cruise is a treasure hunter, make it the end where he comes and finds like the Invisible Man suit and everything, and then he just so happens to like pick up something, or like they send the Invisible Man to like, I don't know, like I'm not fixing this movie by myself.
They could have figured out something. Like they didn't do a very good job.
I think introducing Dr. Jekyll almost like within what 30 minutes of the movie,
Hmm.
or of like, then it's like, all right, there's too many characters kind of going on. I thought
Yeah.
this was the Mummy movie. Like, why is Dr. Jekyll here?
Yeah. That's what
Um,
threw me off. I'm like, why? What? I've even put that in my notes. Like Dr. Jekyll, really? Like that's in my notes. Like, why is this
yeah,
character in here? Like, let's focus on this mummy and whatever Tom Cruise is doing, and let's get through this movie. But they were like, let's sprinkle in Russell Crowe too.
see, like too many big names
Hmm.
were a part of this movie, and
Yeah.
I guess it's like it's not like so bad to have so many big names. It's like, but make a quality movie with these big
Hmm.
names and then figure out later.
Like, go to Wes
But
Anderson, ask him how he does it, and then write your script. Like
right there you
he
go.
finds a way to balance so many big names in on one screen, and it works perfectly.
Yeah,
This,
and
no.
somehow the if you watch all of his movies, sometimes they do kind of connect a little bit, where it's like
Yeah,
there's some little
like
things. But
subtleties.
do you do you think they will revisit this whole universe, like, and
Oh,
kind
I
of
hope not.
like dial it back
Hmm.
and kind of make like a universe, but like not pump out like 4 movies a year and everything, like do 1 movie a year or something.
I think they're gonna try. I can totally see them trying. I hope they don't rush into it. I hope like they learn from the fact that this was so bad, but then they had a hit with the Invisible Man, and they kind of build off that. But I hope if they do, I hope they don't rush into it because it's not necessary. We have enough films out there. Or make it a TV show.
That'd be kind of nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
TV show that like interconnect and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and almost like sort of like The Boys and Gen V, where like they're sort of
Exactly.
interconnected. There's things going on in the world that they're not deliberately happening at the same time, but it's like they're happening across the country maybe, or something,
Yeah.
or whatever.
That
Yeah,
would be perfect.
I do
Yeah.
see them. It's probably like sitting on a shelf and someone's there in their big chair and stuff. Like, that's the one that got away.
Maybe we can revisit this.
Yeah, he's the one that
Like,
pitches it like every year. Like Bob, you shut up.
what about this dark universe, guys? It's like, all right, come on, man. We tried it.
Like, all right, this year you don't get your bonus. We'll do the we'll do the Dark Universe.
So what'd you end up rating this?
I ended up rating this a 1.5
Okay.
because I was like, I don't know. I was kind of going with what you're gonna say as your rating, but I was like, I don't know. I
ended
think
up
it's
rating
because
it a 2.
you're almost confused that Tom Cruise is the mummy.
Mm-hmm.
That Tom Cruise is the mummy, but then you're like, well, that whole Amit character, Aminet, is like barely in it. So it's like, why did I even watch this movie? I just watched a whole slideshow of like Tom Cruise doing all these things for no reason.
Tom Cruise running around, man. He had to get his workout in.
I don't know. What'd you give it?
I ended up giving it a 2. I honestly could have given it a 1.5, but I thought it was watchable. It's not something I'm gonna go back to for any reason. But I thought it was at least watchable enough that I didn't turn it off. So I gave it a 2.
Yeah, I guess so. Like this is more watchable than like Doom, where Doom you're almost kind of like
Battlefield
cringy, sort of a little bit. Battlefield Earth is just like impossible to watch. Like I would stop that. I think, but yeah, this one at least it's somewhat decent to watch.
And at least the CGI is good too.
Yeah, true. For even like a couple years later stuff. So, would you recommend it, and who would you recommend it
to? No, I think I think only people like if other movie podcasts or film podcasts are doing a bad movie month, include it in your bad movie month like we did, but I don't think there's anyone else I would really recommend it to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to recommend this movie over the original Mummies.
Oh yeah,
especially the first one. The first Mummy would.
What about the Scorpion?
With all of them. Yeah.
Ooh, the Scorpion.
But like it's hard to say like, oh, don't watch those. Watch this one. Like no. The fact that it's on Netflix, I think everybody has Netflix. All right, watch it if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
At least you're not paying for it.
That's true. Not technically paying for it.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think that's like the only people that you would say like if you really want to. Or if you want to kind of like delve deep into the bad movies, this is.
Or if you really like Tom Cruise and really want to see him run around for 2 hours,
watch a Mission Impossible movie, not this.
There you go. Okay, yeah, that's even better. Yeah, that's even better. So you would not.
All right, Kai, you want to take us out? Yeah, there you go. All right, Kai.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week with another one. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or this video, Saturday Night Popcorn, and please join us next time.